Hello, I'm Josh Pomerlo. Is that good? No?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hello, I'm Josh Pomerlo, joined by Brian McWhite. We're shooting another episode of Teaming Up.
And today we want to talk a little bit about how to survive.
This is tough. It's a real deal.
How to survive the ups and downs of real estate, especially being a real estate entrepreneur. Every business, every industry has its ups and downs, but when you're an entrepreneur, I think you feel them in a particular way because the success, the ups and downs of the business are so fundamentally focused on you as an individual.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so we want to talk a little bit about how to survive that up and down, especially because Josh kind of started this thing from scratch. And so I want to hear some of the things you have to say and some of the things that I've learned along the way.
Yeah. And, I think I saw a infographic one time where I said, entrepreneur. I said, yes, I'm having great. Oh, shoot, I want to kill myself. And things are okay. And then things are like down and dumps. And you're just riding this all the time. And I was just thinking, this is the entrepreneurial roller coaster, especially in real estate, especially real estate sales. Because real estate sales is so entrepreneurial as well. So that just kind of goes without saying. But I got an email from someone that I coach or that I'm just helping out, mentoring, coaching, whatnot. And he's like, I got to think bigger. I want to do $1 million in sales. And currently, as a team, we do about 2.7 million in GCI, which is big. I mean, we're talking 350 plus 400 units. So, we've lived the 0 units or 10 units or 20 units a year, and we're living in the 400 units. And even here, I still feel that, that ups and downs, the cycle, I call it the spin cycle, that you're just in, you're just like, well, am I having a good day or is this bad? A lead comes through and you're like, woo! Brian executes a $2 million listing that he's going to close on, right? And then it's like, life is good again, right?
Exactly.
So I just, when I see that, that brings me right into, number one that we wanted to talk about is like breathe.
Yeah, just relax. Come back to your big why. So Gary Keller likes to call it his big why.
Yep.
What did you get into this business for? Was it just to cash a check?
Right.
Was it to, what exactly?
That's not going to last that long. If it's just a cash a check, you're going to get to places where even if you don't get to your say you're at 150,000, say you're at 6 figures and you can pay all your bills. You're going to get to even when you're making 50,000 and you're going to have a good month or two and then you're going to just stop.
Right.
And then that's going to make you even go farther back.
That's right. And so we tell agents that it's not just the money, obviously. I think most of us know that. And it's not even just the opportunity that exists in real estate for the reason why they came into the business. We hope that most people have a big why that's deeper than that. That they've got into this business because they knew that real estate was a way to help people.
Yeah.
To provide great financial advice in a really key period in people's lives to help them into a home that allows them to accomplish their life goals and accomplish some of their dreams, to keep people from making bad mistakes, or because you wanted flexibility in your schedule because of something you can do with that time, whether it has to do with your family, your hobbies, or whatever it is. So slow down, breathe. Yep. And go back to why exactly am I doing this? And am I doing these things that I got into this business for?
Yeah, and I admire Brian a little bit because the candid camera here is that Brian lives that. I mean, he lives that. He's come to me a lot of times and said, "Hey, I when I'm there, I want to spend 10 more minutes with a client because I just know that a couple words or just a little bit more." Just basically show them love, really, that a little bit more of that can go so long. And you just don't know where this person is in their lives. And just a couple of words could change the trajectory of their life. Absolutely. And I just love that Brian has that because that drives me. Because now where we are and we've been so successful, without that, I don't really know why I would come to work. I mean, Of course, there's a lot of pieces, right? There's a little bit of Brian that says that, and then Nate has this, and you want to be a part of all that, and there's a lot of big whys that are around you. But I just think going right back to Brian when he's in those conversations, it just drives me to want to be able to do my part.
Yeah, I would still come to work because I still want to pay my mortgage and because I still do like my team. Right. But the reason I get excited about work, the reason why I love coming into work with the Pomerleau team is because of that.
Because you can have an impact.
I like to sit down with people and treat them as human beings, not just as a transaction.
Right.
And find out how can I assist here, not just with the transaction, but are there other things that I can help them with and pour into them with.
Yep. So then we go to number 2. So once we have our big why and we're sitting there and we're like, okay, we have that all figured out. And the funny thing is about a big why, it's going to change. I mean, I think a deep foundational big why probably doesn't. But a lot of the other whys on the way down there are going to change. And they just are. Maybe there's people that you just want to pour into this type of group of people, or you have big money problems, and that's going to be a big why that's going to be a why for a while. Obviously, the deep ones probably don't go away. But then the next thing is, once I have that, what is my plan? Then I try to go to simple, right? Business done well becomes very simple. I think you look at some of the best businesses, and maybe even why Warren Buffett doesn't go into complicated businesses when he invests. He goes to simple ones because the simple ones are more predictable and they usually generate a lot of profit because they're predictable and repeatable. I would go into a plan. Once I know my big why, I want to go into a plan that I can set up, that I can execute and create some small wins for myself. Once I have those small wins, then I kind of build onto those. But I have just a little story from when I started. I remember kind of figuring out, not really knowing what I wanted to do, where this was going to go. And I used to just go in my office, as funny as this sounds, I used to just go in my office and sit there because I knew eventually I'd get so bored sitting there. And then when I got bored sitting there, eventually I would I'd figure out what my big why is, put a plan together, and then execute that plan. Because I knew I wouldn't want to sit in that office day after day after day sitting there.
Right. But even when you've got a good plan, this is kind of the third thing we want to talk about. Even when you've got a great plan, you have to be prepared for some boredom, and you have to have patience.
Yeah.
Because success in real estate, success in building a team has a lot to do with being okay with being bored.
Well, in our classes,
doing the same things every day.
Exactly. In our classes, a lot of times we talk about building a database.
Right.
How boring.
How awfully boring is building a database. But it's
boring.
It's really boring. Lead generation is boring. There's not many people who can sit down for 4 hours and lead generate. But it's one of those things that has to be done again and again and again every day if you want to get to where you're going. If your goals are huge, which we assume that they are, if your goals are, I want to have the top real estate team in my city or my state or the region or whatever it might be, it's going to take a lot of boring days. Doing these things over and over and over again to make that happen. And it's going to take a lot of patience because it's not cliche. It's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to unseat the number 50 and then the number 30 and then the number 10 and the number 1 team in your city, in your region in a year. No,
and I think people need to hear that because I as I help other people do what we've done, I just hear a lot of sadness maybe, or a lot of maybe some confusion.
That they're not on the cover of a magazine.
Exactly.
They're not on stage talking at the real estate convention.
And I would say, well, some of those people,
that stuff.
And some of those people that are on there aren't even doing that successful. I've heard multiple stories where people are up there and actually have lost money that year, or and then I look at some friends that I have in real estate that have been in forever and they're not on everything and they're super, super profitable.
Yep.
So going to a past video, getting caught up in what other people are doing, that's just going to get you lost. And that's where you just don't judge your insides by other people's outsides, right? I mean, think about what you want, what you think are smart business decisions, and look at your big why. And just fall back on that, and just you're going to get farther and be more successful just taking care of yourself. I mean, a lot of times people say, well, don't you know what that person does? No, because where that person is on their journey has nothing to do with ours. Now, that said, I do want to find cues and secrets and clues of what other people are doing and pick up on those. But once you have those and you want to execute on what you do, it's going to get back to that being bored. We're going to do the same thing every single day to get that one listing, and that one listing is going to be the next listing, and then the next one, and then you're just going to keep going down that path. So kind of going into number 4, maybe the last thing I wanted to lead off with this, and we talked this in other videos too, is just maybe not getting lost in what other people are doing, but we don't know how much time we're going to have on this planet. So when people get lost, when people get sad and down about being a success and thinking bigger, yes, that's great. I think if you have a big why, especially if you have a big why that I feel is going to, help other people and make a good impact, that's a great thing. But then getting lost for success, for success.
Or even worse, just working for work's sake.
Yes, right. And thinking that's cool.
Exactly. It's not cool to work 100 hours a week. I don't think.
I don't think it's that cool either.
I'm not impressed by it. I think
people used to brag about that back in the day, and I'm just thinking, there's Warren Buffett.
You're probably not working smart.
Exactly. Warren Buffett's like a $60 billion. It didn't mean he worked 10,000 hours a week.
No.
Exactly. He puts less hours of work a week than you do, period.
Work has a diminishing return.
Yes,
the more you work beyond the point where you're really being profitable, you just waste time, waste more and more time the more you work.
Right.
And that's what we don't want for us, for our team, or for you either.
Yep. And so being super clear on what your daily tasks are to do what you need to do, not only gets the business moving forward as far as it could be, it also allows you when you go home at night and when you go on vacation that you deserve to shut down.
You can shut down. Because
you said, I did what I did. I showed up when I didn't feel like it. And I put these 3 or 4 hours in today to make the business change. And I can go home and sleep at night because I know I did everything I could possibly in those 4 hours.
It's almost like coming up with a great plan and just working that plan. You're giving yourself permission in advance to be okay with resting.
Yes.
You can take a nap because you did your plan and you did it for the day and you didn't slack.
No.
You worked really hard. But you got it done and you're saying that's enough for today.
That is.
Or that's enough for this month.
Yeah.
Whatever it might be.
And I think the most successful people do that. And they don't have the regrets either, because then once you did what you could do, you can sleep on that. And if it does, wherever it goes, it goes. And you can always get better. Of course, you're going to have days where are worse than other days, but then you can pick up and recharge and then just hit it at another day. And again, was that number 3 where we just get boredom and patience?
Right. Patience is huge though.
Exactly.
Because if you're not patient, you will just work to the bone.
Yeah.
Thinking that's going to make it happen faster. And
it doesn't. It doesn't. I lived that. I mean, when I first got in real estate, I thought I just had to be on all the time. Well, what I noticed is the most successful people turned off, and they created a demand for themselves. Now they probably deserve that demand because they've had that they've been in the business for a long time. But sitting there and always being next to your phone just made the client in control of everything. And that's not even really what the client wanted. The client wanted someone that could be in control of the process and guide them on where they wanted to go. And they don't feel like you can do that if you're just always on call. Because it's just like a doctor. If you showed up and the doctor was always ready for you 24/7, you'd be like, how aren't they they should be busier than this, where other people are eating up so much of their time that I can barely get in.
Right.
That's
exactly right. So that's today's episode of Teaming Up with Josh Pomerleau and Brian McWhite. We're excited about these videos. We're excited about teaming up because we believe that teams are the future of real estate. And so we want to pass along some good ideas and resources to you and invite you to come along with us.
Yep. So join us on the next one. Coming up soon, right?
That's right.
All right.